Hi there, I'm Rex King, and it is the first day of 2025, as of this recording, of course. And what better way to celebrate the new year than talking about the top 10 best movies from the previous year? As I said, last year was a huge disappointment as far as I'm concerned, but there were still a select movies that were good. Heck, I would even argue that they are great. And these are 10 of them. So, without further ado, you guys know how this list usually operates. Let's dive right into the top 10 best movies of 2024, according to me. So, number 10, Lisa Frankenstein. Starting off with one that I can already tell you most people are going to disagree with. I had a great time with this film. I really enjoyed the weird, quirky idea of the story, and I loved the quirky characters. I felt that the film was unique, and I couldn't help but feel a smile come over my face. I really enjoyed the film, and I was a little bit surprised that not many other people shared my opinion about this one. But I get some of the complaints. I just can't help but love it. Anyway, number 9, Here. Speaking of movies that people are going to disagree with, I have a feeling this is going to be another one. So, yeah, all the complaints you've heard about here are technically correct. I just disagree that they are dragging down the movie as much as other people claim that they are. Yes, the CGI with the animals is weird and honestly could have not been necessary, but I still think this concept is really inventive. And I really love the transitions, I love the acting, I love pretty much everything about this movie, again with the exception of the early CGI in it. And I have to reward a movie that prompts the type of reaction for me that Here did. Like, this movie broke me at the end. And that is rare for me to be broken at the end of a film. I'm not even 100% sure why it did that, or how it did that, rather. But that's one of the reasons why it's on this list. Anyway, number 8, Transformers 1. Yeah, this one is a bit of a surprise for me. I did not expect to love this film as much as I did. That's probably because the trailers for this movie are awful. They made it look like it was going to be a dumb buddy comedy. It very much isn't. I really love Transformers 1. I love the characters, I love the journey, I love seeing both the journey of how Optimus became Optimus and how Megatron became Megatron. I love seeing that. And I gotta say, there were a lot of moments where I was just on the edge of my seats with enjoyment. And this film really deserves any accolades that it gets. Number 7, Smile 2. Well, as I said, the first half of the year when it came to horror was awful. The second half? Yeah, we got movies like Smile 2. I really love Smile 2. It's rare that I get to say that a movie sequel is better than the first one. And I get to say it with this film. And that has to do with the way this film is shot, the tension that's built up, the atmosphere, and most notably, Naomi Scott's performance. Holy crap! She is part of what makes this movie so unbelievably good. If you haven't seen her performance in this one, you got to. If any of the awards community took horror seriously, she would be on the short list for nominations. But of course they don't, so she's not going to be. But I'm not kidding about her performance in this film. It is absolutely spectacular. Number 6, Nosferatu, keeping that horror train going. So yeah, Nosferatu is the most recent film I reviewed, and one of the most brilliant films of the year. From the way it was shot, from the way it was executed, from the acting, to pretty much everything I could think about in this film, I can give wonderful props to. I love Robert Eggers. I apologize if I mispronounce the name. And I really love seeing what he brings to the table, especially as far as the production design is concerned. If the runtime was shored up a little bit more, I think this film would have been maybe the best film of the year. But it is still a great movie, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is looking for a dark horror movie or another good Dracula story. Number 5, The Wild Robot. Speaking of rare things I get to say, this movie is probably the movie that I can think about that has the widest audience, because I literally think anyone can watch The Wild Robot and get something out of it. And that is so rare to say nowadays. I think there's enough here for kids, there's enough here for adults. I think that this film is brilliantly executed. The animation is beautiful, the music is spectacular. I really love The Wild Robot, and it's head and shoulders above anything else of animation that came out this year, by a long shot. Number 4, Deadpool and Wolverine. Finally, we get a movie that proves that comic book movies are not dead. Oh, God, I cannot express how happy I am that this movie was this good. It was funny, the action was well choreographed, the character interaction between Deadpool and Wolverine is spectacular. I really enjoyed this movie. And honestly, it's such a breath of fresh air in the comic book movie industry to have a film like this. I hope that people were taking notes, because I want films that are this good from the comic book movie industry, and I really hope that they learned what made this movie successful. Anyway, number 3, Longlegs. Yeah, despite what I've said about Nosferatu and Smile 2, Longlegs is the movie that disturbed me the most, by a long shot. I was thinking about this movie for months after I watched it, and that is no easy feat. I cannot express how brilliantly done this film is. Its visuals harken back to old school horror movies. The plot is so simply done, but done and executed in an interesting fashion that just keeps you guessing. I really love this movie. I don't usually like Nicolas Cage films, but this film, he won me over. And I love what Osgood Perkins was managed to do with this film. That brings us to number 2, Furiosa. So, yeah, this one, I'm really sad that this film did not do that well at the box office, because I really felt the intensity with this one. I really enjoyed this science fiction action epic, seeing this character grow and become the character we know from Fury Road. I really love this movie, and I am so annoyed it didn't do better at the box office. What are we doing, folks? Seriously, this film deserved better than it got, and oh my God, I loved it. But there was one movie that, in my opinion, was head and shoulders above everything else I saw this year. A movie that really couldn't be touched. Dune Part 2. Yeah, so this one's kind of obvious. There's very little I could say in the negative for this film. Heck, anything I could say would be me literally straining to find something, because this film is as near perfect as you can get. The shots are brilliant. The production design, brilliant. The effects, brilliant. The characters and the performances, brilliant. This film is amazing. And I didn't think they would top the first Dune movie, but they did with this one. And I really enjoyed this film a lot. Anyway, those were my favorite films of 2024. I do hope we get some good films in 2025, and who knows, maybe we'll even have better films than these 10. I'm looking at the schedule for 2025, and I see some gems there. If they manage to hit them out of the park, it could be a very good year. But with all that said, what do you think about the 2024 movie season? What was your favorite film? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.